From Washington, D.C., good evening. Our guest tonight, President Uhuru Kenyatta, speaking to us on the sidelines of his meeting with President Donald Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us on Citizen TV and welcome to the program. Yes. We'll start with the question that most people are asking. What is in it for Kenya and her people?
What is important, first and foremost, is to recognize that what we're looking for is not what's in it for Kenya, but what is in it for our two countries. And as I've stated severally, Kenya and the United States have had a long-standing relationship, a relationship that spans from our independence, actually before our independence. And we are here to see how we can further strengthen and deepen that cooperation. Cooperation on the defense side, cooperation on the security side in light of the ever-growing threat of terrorism that faces not just Kenya and the United States, but the whole world. And our understanding that it requires partnership and cooperation if we are to succeed and win the war against terror, but also to deepen our economic ties. And by deepening trade between our two countries, as I said, Kenya is one of, the United States is one of our largest trading partners, and we want to deepen that further, especially with regard tea, coffee, as far as Kenya is concerned, our tourism, but also to encourage more American investment into Kenya in light of the changes that we've made in the doing business environment, the location that Kenya has, our objective of deepening intra-Africa trade. And I believe that this is a great opportunity also for American companies to take advantage of that, to partner with us, and to see how we can strengthen our trade and investment relations for the mutual benefit of our two countries.
Kenyans are looking forward as well to the beginning of direct flights to the U.S.
Absolutely. We're all looking forward to that, and I believe that we have gone a long way and we're nearly there, and hopefully later this year we will be able to launch those direct flights, which can only add to the ability of our two peoples to communicate better, travel easier, and that should only further deepen our trade and investment ties, our tourism ties. And I think there is great optimism on both sides that with direct flights being reintroduced, this will go a long way to boosting the partnership between our two countries. So just as Kenyans, and I believe also many Americans are looking forward to the inauguration of direct flight links between our two nations.
In just under 2 weeks, you will have met with the Super PAC, as it were, from US President Trump to hosting British Prime Minister May to later meeting with China's President Xi Jinping. How does this speak to Kenya's place on the global stage?
Well, I believe what we're doing is further strengthening Kenya's position, our role, both at a bilateral level between various countries, but also, recognition of our growing role also at the multilateral level, our role in peacekeeping worldwide with the UN, our role in South Sudan and Somalia, our role in the fight against terror. And I think people are beginning to appreciate that Kenya can increasingly begin to play a much bigger role on the global arena. And I think we are ready for that, and what we are seeking is to leverage on our location, leverage on the quality of our people, the educational standards of our people, the skills that our people have, the technology and the infrastructure that we're putting in place, to see how we can work together with partners across the globe to improve our prosperity, be able to rid ourselves of poverty, and to be able to achieve our social economic agenda as a country in partnership with the rest of the world, and Kenya recognizing that it can't do that on its own. And we need partners and people seeing Kenya as reliable and capable partners to achieve their own objectives as well.
Now, the Big Four agenda is at the heart of your legacy term. How does this align itself to that? And at this particular stage of your administration, what specifics will you be looking at as you come out of these meetings with the US, the UK and China?
Well, for sure, like I'm saying, we as a country have acknowledged that domestically we don't have all the resources that we would wish to have to cover all four of our Big Four. And we are looking for partners. We think that there is great potential in partnering with people from across the globe to achieve our housing agenda, our manufacturing agenda, because as I said, Kenya is looking to leverage on one of the biggest assets that we have, which is our human capital, our location second, our language, the fact that we're straddled almost equidistant between East and West. And we're looking to see how we can leverage all that to encourage manufacturing, and Kenya as a manufacturing base, where we could produce goods and value add our own goods for the sale and to trade across the globe. The health sector, again, is an area where we believe strongly that by partnering with private sector, we will be able to achieve our objective of universal health care, while at the same time giving investment opportunity with good return to partners from across the world. So I think in all our Big Four, there is huge potential for us to be able to partner with others while achieving our own domestic objectives and achieving the aspirations of the people of the Republic of Kenya.
You've acknowledged the fact that Kenya doesn't have the resources.
No country has all the resources that it requires. Every country seeks to attract foreign investment, including the United States, including Great Britain. All we need to do is to position ourselves to become that much more attractive than any other destination. So I don't think there is anything peculiar about Kenya looking to partner, looking for investment from outside. What we need to focus ourselves on is to ensure that we have an environment that is attractive to industry, that is attractive to investment, that is politically stable, so that money doesn't flee, but money feels that it can invest in Kenya and it is secure. So with the issue of Kenya does not have, no country in the world has all the resources they require. So we're all competing for the limited resources that are there, and we just need to position ourselves and to ensure that we build an environment that is attractive to that investment, because there's competition for it all across the globe.
Critics would then question, is Kenya sinking farther and farther into debt?
I don't believe so. I mean, there is no country, there is no society or family that can think that you can get ahead, especially with the infrastructure deficit that we have, a gap that was almost 25 years. We're not going to be able to close that gap. We need to borrow this money in order to put in the roads, in order to put in the electricity, so that we can leverage on these to create the jobs, to expand our economy, and in order for us, therefore, to be able not only to repay, but to create prosperity for our people. And that's why people borrow money. We are not borrowing money to pay our salaries. We are not borrowing money for recurrent expenditure. We are borrowing money for investments that will help our economy grow and thereby create more opportunities for our people as we expand our economy. And we believe now we have an institutional framework that will be able to deliver strong results. The political commitment is there. The will of the people of Kenya is committed to see an end to corruption. And I believe that this time we shall succeed in our endeavors. I believe we're going to win this war. There is tremendous commitment, I think, now from the agencies that have been involved in this work. in that end also. We appreciate especially the support that we've gotten from the United States in terms both of capacity building and training and involvement of their officers from the FBI to other agencies who we've been working closely together with. I am committed, and I believe that my partner in this endeavor, Raila Odinga, is also equally committed, with a recognition that politics is just about opposing ideas. It's not about enmity. We all, after all, belong to one nation, one country, Kenya. We are all one people, and it is not in the interest of any one of us to allow political differences to cause a disintegration of our country. And therefore, the onus is on us to really say that how can we ensure we create a political environment that encourages strong political discourse, that encourages positive criticism, that encourages political competition, but not at the expense of the unity of the country. So we are committed to seeing how we can work together, especially to ensure that we unite our people so that ideas give way, individuals give way to ideas, and create an environment where we have stability and predictability in our political life, so that we move away from this issue of 5-year cycles where every 5 years the whole country grinds to a halt as they wait to see what outcome it has. Because what happens in that situation? First and foremost, you lose a year prior to the election, where you have economic slowdown, you have people saying let's wait and see. Then you have the following year, while a government starts to set up again and start a whole new process. So basically every 10 years you almost lose 2.5 years because of political uncertainty. We want to create political certainty. We want people to understand that governments will always come and go, but Kenya will remain, and that policies may change, but stability will always be there. These are the foundations of strong, solid economic growth as well as development. And this is where we want to take our country to, and I believe solidly that Raila Odinga is just as committed as I am, as well as a host of other, because my deputy president is also, William Ruto is also committed to the same, Kalonzo Musyoka, and many leaders are committed to this agenda, this drive of saying that political differences should not result in disunity, disintegration, and animosity amongst our people. Political competition is just that. A competition of ideas, not a competition between communities, religions, and so on and so forth. We are all Kenyans after all. We have no other country but Kenya. We have a responsibility to work together to ensure that we have a peaceful, secure nation on which to build a solid future foundation for our people.
Mr. President, thank you so much for speaking to us on Citizen Television. Good night. I'm Jackie Maribe.
And I'm Uhuru Kenyatta.